Hey everybody, it's Dusty with Corcoran Platinum Living. So some big news broke a day or two ago, and it has some people, even some real estate agents I've been seeing on both local Arizona real estate agent forums and boards, as well as national and international boards for real estate agents. And the news was that Zillow stopped their iBuyer program and is no longer purchasing homes for the remainder of 2021. Cue the hysteria, right? So let's talk about that. Let's unpack some things. This is just my musings, my theory, has not been proven, but based on things that have happened in the past and what I know about the market, this is what I'm gonna guess is happening. So, like I said, Zillow quit buying homes for the rest of 2021. A lot of people are asking, what does that mean? Is the market crashing? What do they know that I don't know? They're kind of freaking out, like, what does that mean? Why did they stop buying homes? Well, there's a few things going on, at least from what I can see from the outside. First up is homes are getting expensive. We are in the middle of inflation, or what I would call probably true stagflation. We know that home prices, for the most part in the valley, have gone up about 30% over this time last year, which is an absurd amount. Normal appreciation's like 2 to 4%. We're at like 30, right? So not only are these homes that they're buying getting more expensive, but they're still having to compete with the rest of you who are out there buying homes. And so they've got to come in really heavy-handed with a lot of cash. Now, not so long ago, when, the first year or two Zillow did this iBuyer flipping gig, they were losing over $100,000 a piece on each home. $100,000 lost. That's on overpaying, administrative expenses. They have this huge machine, right, where people are sitting in cubicles, making their calls, pushing paperwork, doing the files, like all of that. So they've got to pay all of those salaries, right? And it's not costing like someone like me like $400 to get my paperwork taken care of, or like a couple hours on my own. I happily pay for that. And so they're paying somebody $30, $40, $50,000 a year, maybe more. I don't know where these people are living and what their base pay is, to do this work for them. Then they've got their sales managers, then they've got their data people and their tech people and their software programmers. So, I mean, they've got this massive beast that they're trying to keep afloat. And they switched to the Flex program in my area, my market. And basically that means instead of agents paying a monthly fee to advertise and get leads from Zillow, they now take 35% of basically every sale for every lead they give you for the next 2 years, however long it takes these people to close. It's just a straight referral fee now. And a lot of agents like myself were like, no thanks, bye. And so, when you go from, a few $100s a month to, oh, I want a third of your income forever, that's a big pill for a lot of agents to swallow. And a lot of agents like myself bailed, right? So that went on. So they lost some ad stream revenue there. So there's that. The prices are going up, but now we know that prices are going up and they're having to beat your offer, right? And 8 other people's offer, because we all need homes to live in. But they've got investors. They use investor money to buy these homes, right? Who do they need to keep happy? You guessed it, they're investors. So when things start happening, some investors might be like, look, this is getting a little crazy. When are you going to sell these? And I can tell you from personal experience, a lot of these Zillow listings are overpriced. They've barely been cleaned up, if at all. I've shown a few where They didn't even like clean the place. I've had one under contract that they painted and put in like new floors, but it was really poorly done. And then when we got to the inspection process, we found out the thing needed not just an entirely new roof, but the roof itself had the wrong type of plywood on it. So my buyer would have had to go and replace all the plywood on the roof. And this is a few years ago. Like it's probably been like 3, maybe 4 years. I'd have to check. But wood wasn't getting any cheaper. And when you start, 3-4 years ago, when plywood was $50 a sheet through a roofer, I mean, that adds up a lot, So, I mean, it was going to be like $30,000 to re-roof this house because it was never done properly to begin with. And so instead of addressing these major issues, they put some lipstick on it and called it good. So my buyers walked. Not to mention that home at the time was also overpriced. And I find a lot of these iBuyers, whether it be OfferPad or Homey or Open Door, they all kind of have a theme. They do minimal work to the property. It's a true flip, to add no value. But then they usually overprice it and do minimal marketing. And so they might, do some cheap photos and slap it on there, but they then rely on the tech side and the software and the Google ads pay-per-click to the site in general, just to get eyeballs on the site, but they're not generally like advertising specific properties, if you know what I'm saying. So they're relying basically on the MLS and their big search engine to sell the home. Unfortunately, if you're driving them to a search engine where they can see all the other homes and what they sold for, buyers are going to know when it's overpriced and it's going to sit. And this is something I've seen for years and years. And it's one of the reasons probably why I don't get as worried about the iBuyers as other agents, because I watch what they do and it's not all that great. Anyway, so you got all that going on in the background. Meanwhile, their investors are like, yo, what's up? On the flip side, I'm starting to see repeated questions in local agent forums here in Arizona asking about what's the holdup with the title company that Zillow wanted us to use. Because here's the kick. A lot of times they won't accept your offer unless you use their title company. And their title company is backed up. And they don't have enough people to process these escrows, right? So they're backed up. I can think of at least 2 off the top of my head recently where somebody was like, this title company missed our closing 2 weeks ago. And when I called them, they said, well, you should have picked your own title company. And the funny thing about that is you can't. If you want to get their house under contract, you have to pick theirs. That's how it works right now. Even though the buyer legally has the right to pick their own. It's just not happening in a seller's market as hot as ours. So anyway, so you got all of this stuff happening in the background. But then think about it this way. And like I said, we're going to come at this from a whole bunch of angles because I've got some big theories. So everybody knows you can go onto Zillow, search for homes, and you can pick your price point, and you can play with the mortgage calculator and see how much down it would take to get your payment under a certain amount. And you can search specific areas, you can search by zip code or even by specific neighborhood or state. So they know what you're searching for. They know where you're searching for it. They know when you're searching for it. And they know about how much you want to spend. So they can see about how much people want to spend in certain areas. And I've shown some homes lately where, I kid you not, 30 of the homes in the neighborhood had recently been sold to Zillow. 30. And then I've seen a few neighborhoods where, like, say, Open Door, OfferPad had come in and bought up 10, 15, 20, 40 homes. So if they know what you're willing to spend, and they just went and bought 30 properties at, say, $300,000, and then they come in and they buy the next one at $340,000. And they hold on to it for a couple months. And they let a couple normal non-flip sales churn through, and the appraisers use that as a comp to close that loan. That now becomes the new baseline. So they just acquired a property for $340,000. Now all the other properties in the neighborhood that they haven't yet sold, that they bought for $300,000, what do you think happens to those? So take that into account. So my theory is, no, the market is not crashing. What I think is they're trying to catch their breath because they're understaffed for their ambitions. 2, home prices are going up, and we're seeing the inflation and the stagflation, and they know interest rates are going to go up. But also, they're driving the price up. So they're just waiting for these homes that they have left, because they've got more than enough for this year. They're just going to wait for those to mature, if you will, and then they'll turn around and sell them at the next base price point when it doesn't look like they're so overpriced. Anyway, I would love to hear what your thoughts are, whether you're an agent or just a random person who likes to watch what's happening in the real estate market. But I think it's kind of interesting. It's probably not indicative of anything major happening. They're probably in the middle of a big shift, and I think they're probably making a play to keep their investors happy and make a lot of money. Anyway, put your comments below, and I will talk to you guys soon after I get done dropping off my kids. Oh, and before I forget, if you want to know what your home's actually worth in this market, whether you're looking to sell it or not, go ahead to DustiMartinRealtor.com and type in, home valuation. I'll send you a free home valuation. Whether you just want to know or if you're looking to sell, I don't care. I'll do it for free anyway. Talk to you later. Bye.